really like a sub 1920 is really consistent in this category. And, you know, to anybody, weird things can happen. So
certainly. And JScarbo does have, as you mentioned, a 1909, which was just set 1 day ago, so yesterday. So big GG's to him on his new PB. GTAce with the 1859. So as you mentioned, they are about almost exactly 10 seconds apart, and both players deciding to get the mushroom in 1-1. That's the safer strategy. We'll get them synced up here in just a second, and you'll be able to see how close they are, but very good 1-1 for both players. 1-1 and 1-2 power-ups are the safer strategy here, and which is what most runners prefer to do.
Yeah, you don't want disasters to happen early, right? You just want to be able to get through and, you know, have a chance at least.
Exactly. So both players grabbing the firepower and pretty synced up. No problems here on the Koopa Goomba section for either. So very clean. Well done by both players. And they'll be on to 1-3 and 1-4. 1-3 is not going to give them many problems. 1-. Ooh, so we do see one little thing here. GTA's got the 353 on the timer, exiting the pipe, and JScarbo got the 352 on the timer. When you exit the pipe and then you go to the stairs, it's a 6-second difference. So, you know, GTA's entered a 353. The next room is going to show up as a 352, and then so like you take 353 minus 6, and that'll give him a 347 on the timer. Well, JScarbo, because he had a 352, would have gotten a 346 on the timer. That 6 in the ones digit would have given him 6 fireworks, which would cost him around 2.5-3 seconds, something like that. So he had to do an extra buffer jump on the stairs to avoid getting a 6 on the timer. So that cost him a little bit of time relative to GTAce. But now we're in 1-4. We want to kill Bowser with fire, right?
Yeah, and thankfully 1-4 is a pretty, you know, straightforward level. You just get to run through and the fire bars kind of get out of your way, and you know, we'll see what Bowser decides to do. That's the one. So I think we actually got 2 different patterns, didn't we? I saw GTAce got the forward.
Yeah, and JScarbo got the 262, whereas GTAce got the 261. Not sure if that closed him up by 1 extra frame rule. JScarbo still looks about 1 frame rule behind. So sometimes, you know, in-game timers can be a little misleading. If GTA's got a really high 61, that's also the same as the 262 frame rule. So just depends on how things turned out there. But GTAce maintains, I think, just a 1 frame rule lead. A frame rule, of course, being a group of 21 frames. This game checks for the completion of a level every 21 frames. So every level except 8-4, you'll move on to the next level in a specific 21 frame window.
Yeah, and knowing which frame rule you're on is important too. And you know, there's going to be patterns later on in the game that are determined by which frame rule you're on. Even in this level, I mean, in terms of what you get, it's going to depend on your frame rule. We're probably going to see two completely different things going on here.
Yep, and definitely 2 different patterns here, but both handling it very well. These choke points in the water, these little narrow corridors, can become kind of tricky if you get some weird patterns that, you know, enemies are kind of funnily misplaced. But both runners having no problem with a 316 pipe exit. That is the optimal time you want to get in the 2-2 water section. So both runners all square through 2-2. GTA is going to maintain the 1 frame rule lead, I think, in the battle of the 99s going into 2-3.
Yeah, and then we're going to see more pattern variants here with the Cheep Cheeps as well. So sometimes you get some Cheep Cheeps that are really hard to make it past, and you got to do some really specific jumps in order to do that, just depending on what frame rule you're on. So
yeah, very specific jumps or very specific fireball timing as well. But both runners getting decent patterns. The other thing about 2-3, the really bad Cheep Cheeps happen in the first half of the level. Once you get kind of halfway through the level, you can usually breathe a sigh of relief. But the 1 or 2 really bad ones happen in the first portion of the level. So you see GTAce there did a buffer. That's to give him, he knows his frame rule that he's on, and that's to give him a very specific pattern that he wants for Bowser. That's why he did a little buffer jump into this little skating thing at the start of the level. And both runners getting a 261. It looks like GTAce's 261 may have been a touch faster, so he may have actually gained a little bit more time there, but yeah, it looks like maybe he gained an extra frame rule getting the 262 rule versus JScarbo getting the normal 261 frame rule. So I think GTAce pulled out another frame rule on JScarbo there for a 2 frame rule lead.
Using the spreadsheet.
Yeah, that spreadsheet's going to come in handy in a few levels. And you see a little stair boss there from JScarbo. Those stairs at the end of 3-1 are pretty tricky, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, it's really the hitboxes with the fireballs and the enemies. It's really deceiving in this game. It's much smaller than it looks like in a lot of cases, so getting that Koopa snipe is really difficult.
Yeah, definitely. So we're into 3-2. Of course, the thank you Goofy strategy that you hear right there from GTAce, shooting the fireballs right in tune with the music. Dot, dot, dot. That will kill 3 Koopas, which will, funny enough, make it so that their sprites stay on the screen a little bit longer because they're getting shelled off to the right, no pun intended, and that way a Goomba despawns right in front of the stairs there. So Goofy Chocobo didn't come up with the strategy of despawning the Goomba. That's been known about. He's just the one who came up with shooting the fireballs right in tune with the music.
Yeah, GTA's doing a little bit of swag at the beginning of 3-3, jumping through the platform, which for some reason you can do and makes no sense, but yeah.
Exactly. So 3-4 is when we were talking about the spreadsheet, one of those levels that they'll be using the spreadsheet for. GTAce knows exactly what to do here, did a little buffer as well. Looks like JScarbo also knows where he is on the spreadsheet because he challenged that first POTA boost. So we'll see. Easy stuff there for GTAce. JScarbo actually did a little slowdown there. So either he was on the spreadsheet and the slowdown was intentional because he knew it was like kind of a difficult pattern, or maybe he just isn't using the spreadsheet, but I think he probably was, given that he challenged the first POTA. But on to the most difficult level in the whole speedrun, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, this is the most useful Lakitu that's ever been placed in a Mario game. I mean, look at this guy.
Certainly.
Look at all the work he's doing.
He's just really precise with those spiny throws, too. Very accurate at hitting Mario.
Yeah, he's really good at de-lagging the game for you by throwing them off screen, so that's very nice of him.
4-2, everybody in chat, voice your opinion. Top route or bottom route? Haxer, what do you prefer?
Top route, because bottom route is for masochists.
You know what? I'm on the same page as you, but here's a funny story. I went top route in my last race against Stelxy now, but I missed getting to the top, so I had to go bottom route, and I took a hit on the bottom route, so maybe I should practice that. But bottom route is more swaggy. You see both runners here doing bottom route. More swaggy, you get all these Piranha Plant kills, and no problem for either runner here on the bottom route. Perfect 350 pipe exit for both.
That's a good team, or I mean, sorry, that's a good point. Sorry to be on team bottom, because, I mean, at least if it goes wrong, you know exactly what you have to do.
Alrighty, we are in 4-3. 4-3 is a very special magical level because there is an extra frame rule you can get if you play this level without slowing down, and you jump from a 2-frame window off of this last platform right there, which GTAce, I think he got. JScarbo looks like he was resting on the block there, so
yeah,
we'll be able to tell from the coin flash. So GTAce did get it. JScarbo did not get it. Okay. I could tell from the coin flash there, like so extra frame rule there for GTAce. He's maybe got like a 3-second lead now.
Yeah, you have a couple pixels to jump from that last platform if you do everything correctly in that level, so... Or seemingly, I don't know. It definitely doesn't seem pixel perfect.
A little slowdown there for GTAce, and JScarbo is going to make up some time. Tough pattern there for GTAce, and also a little bit of trouble just getting to the axe. JScarbo, a little bit quicker kill, 348 versus 345. 3 in-game seconds is not necessarily exactly 3 frame rules, but it is approximately 3 frame rules. So, JScarbo closed up somewhere between 2 to 4 frame rules, which is 0.7 to 1.4 seconds. So, very nicely done there, and things just got a little tighter.
Yeah, it's GTAce's favorite level, by the way. And yeah, I mean, that's just the worst Dash 4 level, you know, in terms of the boss pattern. It just really is.
All right, 5-2, GTAce and jscarbo know exactly what's going to happen here. Neither of them getting an opening shot from that bullet bill cannon. It can shoot a bullet bill, but I think both runners are having a clean enough race that they know where they are on the patterns on the spreadsheet, and 5-2 is one of those levels that they would be using the spreadsheet for, just to know the bullet bill, you know, opening bullet bill shot. They'll probably also know if they've mapped out 5-3, what's going to happen here. And also potentially 5-4 to know if they're going to have good fire bars. So this is where the spreadsheet really comes in handy.
Yeah, nice Ammunition Williams here. Just a great classic SMB. Oh my goodness, that dodge by GTAce.
He knows what he's doing. I think he knew exactly what pattern he was getting there. And a little swag dodge. Beautifully done by GTAce. jscarbo going to lose a frame rule there. He did have to slow down a little bit, I think. And so, yeah, he did lose one frame rule. I could tell from the coin flash. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Okay, so we see GTAce doing a buffer here. He's not doing the Roy L. Goodbar strategy. Gets the really hard firebar jump as jscarbo also getting past the firebar section there. So 260 on the timer for GTAce, 261 for jscarbo. Both of these runners don't need the Roy L. Goodbars. Excellent stuff there. And GTAce had, if you guys saw what he did on that firebar jump, he got what we call the harder of the two firebar patterns that you can get past. And you have to do a really tiny specific jump at a specific time to get over that. The one that jscarbo got was a lot more friendly, a bigger window there, but great job by both runners. And we're about to head into 6-2 Piranha Plant City.
Yeah, 6-2 is probably my favorite level to play in this category, just because it's really fun sniping out the plants. But one thing I wanted to mention is they both got the Swagatude jump at the beginning of this level, which is taking advantage of the stomp mechanics in SMB 1, which, you know, as they're both traveling downward on that enemy, they're not going to take damage from it, even though it looks like they ran directly into it.
Very good 6-2s so far by both players, and I really don't want to commentator's curse this, but both are having incredibly clean runs. We have not seen a power-up loss yet, and hopefully it stays that way because this has been a really, really good race. We are now into 6-3. The runners have the option of going on the top or the bottom here. As Big Mario, most people tend to choose the top route because you would have to do a duck jump on the bottom route to avoid hitting your head on a platform, and it's a very specific duck jump you have to do on like a couple frame window there. So both runners did take the top, and really clean. You see jscarbo with a great bullet bill dodge, another level with some interesting Ammunition Williams sometimes.
Yeah, I think he knew exactly what was going to happen there because it was so quick that.
Oh, GTAce knows the pattern. jscarbo knows the pattern. This is good stuff here, folks. And watch this firebar section. Both runners clean through there as well. They are putting on a clinic. We are on probably double 19.0x pace here. So I know jscarbo is a little bit further behind, but not a whole lot. I do think this is double 19.0x pace. If this keeps up, this is going to be potentially the lowest combined time of the tournament. But once again, I really, really don't want to jinx things.
Yeah, obviously, World 8 I mean, it's not so bad if you have fire, but sometimes if you get there and you don't have fire, it can be kind of an adventure, so.
And 7-2 especially as well, and 7-3, you know, lots of tough patterns.
Which, I mean, they're in great shape right now, so I kind of expect that it's looking good anyway.
Yeah, and okay, so we are in 7-2. This is a repeat of 2-2 as far as the level layout, but you're gonna see, even right off the bat, more bloopers here. Go under that second blooper. That's like the super easy strat. That way they won't chase you up on the screen there. And these tight corridors, now there's an extra blooper. You know, there's extra cheats. So just a tougher level in general than 2-2 because of the extra enemies, especially in the tight corridors. And at the very end of the level, we can get the dreaded bad blooper.
Yeah, I mean, aren't water levels just really the pinnacle of level design for Mario? I mean, look at this thing.
Oh! No! jscarbo just
Wow.
barely bonked his head. He was so close to getting through that perfectly clean. He was able to get past the bad blooper, but just slightly bonked his head, which put him down on the stairs there, and he couldn't get into the pipe in time to avoid the blooper. So that gives GTAce a significant advantage. A couple reasons GTAce is going to have a big advantage here, as he's getting some tight patterns with the Cheep Cheeps. First of all, he can kill enemies and get them out of the way really easily. Oh, and jscarbo taking a death as he's going for the power-up there. That may just seal his fate, but you know, it's not over. People can make mistakes, and World 8 can have some really deadly consequences. If you die at the end of a level in World 8, there are no checkpoints, so you go back to the beginning of that level. But jscarbo also is not going to be able to kill the 7-4 Bowser with fire, which will cost him a few seconds. And now he's going to have to play World 8-1 as Carbo goes for a FPG and just barely misses it. He's going to have to play 8-1 as Small Mario as well. So a lot of disadvantages for him, whereas GTAce is going to be able to fire all the enemies out of the way and probably get a perfect... Oh, as GTAce doesn't actually gain the advantage from the Bowser fire kill.
Yeah, the hammer was coming for him, man. Like, he was like, I just want to keep fire.
Yeah, those last hammers that Bowser can throw sometimes can put the scare in you, and there's a really famous video of Darbian getting a hammer thrown at him, and he goes, I think it's in his former world record video for Warpless. Even I don't know how I got through that hammer. Like, so there was those hammers that chase after you that Bowser throws back towards you with the axe can be really scary, but sometimes they don't have hitboxes.
Yeah, and in this case, he's not going to chance it. He just, like, you know, you're so comfy in World 8 with fire, right? I mean, look at all the stuff he can just move out of the way and take out. So
yeah,
for 8-3, this is really going to come in handy for him.
So jscarbo doing some safe strats here. Probably the smart thing. You know, he probably, I don't know if he's watching the restream, but he probably figures he's behind. But even going all out any percent isn't going to help him at this point. He's waiting on, you know, hoping for GTAce to make a mistake. So in the meantime, don't make any extra mistakes yourself. Don't get a death by going for any percent strategies. Take the 1 second time loss and make sure you, you know, don't die here in 8-1, which is what he did. And I think that's probably the wise decision in this format.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because you don't want to lose the race with one decision, right? Like, you guarantee no way you can win it. So, I mean, he's just kind of waiting for GTAce to potentially make a mistake.
Yep. But so far, no real major mistakes from GTAce. You know, a couple little things here and there. We talk about hitting the axe instead of Bowser. Oh, jscarbo bullet bill glitch attempt. Coin toss. Dang. So this game detects. Wow, that's a hard word to say. Detects collisions every other frame, and jscarbo needed the game to detect his collision with the bullet bill 1 frame later, and he would have gotten what's called the bullet bill glitch, where he would have clipped into the block of the flagpole and grabbed the flagpole from inside. It skips a whole bunch of stuff, and he would have saved a couple seconds, but unfortunately, the game detected the collision on the first of the 2 frames instead of the second of the 2 frames. But GTAce, a couple rooms left here.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking really, really nice for him. He's just, yeah, he's on a really fantastic pace here.
So you see him do a duck swim here. That crouch swim or duck swim makes it so that he has the small Mario hitbox. So the top half of him doesn't even exist. You see him go like right through the fire bar and stuff. And he's into the final room. The patented GTA's loadaboo, but he gets past it. And a 1909, beautiful run from GTA's. You know, just that's basically jscarbo's PB right there. So jscarbo would have had to PB to keep up with GTAce in this run.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the way he played it, it was really going to be tough for him to keep up. But I mean, he played almost as well for like 80% of the game. So, I mean, I think he shouldn't feel too bad here, to be honest.
No, definitely not.
He kind of got unlucky in 7-2, you know, and maybe next race he doesn't.
Well, and that's the thing. If he's clean through 7-2, he gained some time on GTAce there, probably in 7-4 because GTAce touched the axe. JScarbo may have been on PB pace by the time he got hit in 7-2 because he was only a couple seconds behind. So, that was a brilliant run for JScarbo to be at or near or ahead of PB pace that late into a run in a race setting.
And he still got a 1945 with a death, which is fantastic.
Definitely. So we're going to have to set up another room here for JScarbo and GTAce. But, we're not done. This is a best of 3. So one more race minimum, potentially 2 more races if JScarbo were to pull an upset in race number 2. So, we'll see what we can do about getting the next SRL room set up here. All right, just taking care of some SRL room setup behind the scenes here.
This is the best part of the stream.
I know, right?
Part where you get to go to the bathroom, maybe get another drink. Get some snacks, whatever you got to do.
Get another drink.
That was soda, by the way.
It actually is. No, it seriously is. It's totally not a beer. But, so we're getting race number 2 set up. Tech It Soda in chat. I love it. Oh, dear. All right, we're getting it set up here.
Oh, wait, these people know who you are. That's interesting. Oh, you must be good at this game or something.
See. All right, I'm going to set up a new race here. There we go. So should be a new Warpless. Yeah, there we go. JScarbo's in here, and we'll get GTAce in here in just a second. Excellent. So I'm going to enter the race just to make sure. I will leave the race when they are both ready.
The gatekeeper.
Look at me taking care of admin stuff. I love it.
Right? Sometimes this needs to be done.
There we go.
Isn't it great
all right.
just listening to victory music?
Yep.
You guys don't understand. Like, you don't hear this music all the time, okay?
Good luck to both runners. And we're going to get started here in race number 2. They are in the countdown in SRL for race number 2. So you guys will be seeing it, a few seconds after that, and as we will too. So they're off and running, but we can't see it. Haxer, what do you think's happening?
I think they're both grabbing the mushroom in 1-1 and probably in the underground right now, and probably jumping towards the flag at this point.
Yeah, it's probably a pretty fair assessment.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think either one of them should change what they were doing from that first race. I mean, it was so close that, until that one moment happened, that I don't think there's a problem with either strategy at this point.
I totally agree. I think, JScarbo was right there with GTAce the whole run, and was probably a a pixel or two away from being clean through 7-2 and on his way into 7-3 on near or possible PB pace. So unfortunate for him there, but looks like we're in good shape here for race number 2 as far as the sync and everything. And we did see JS Carbo have a little bit of trouble grabbing that opening mushroom. So he will lose 1 or 2 frame rules to GTAce here. It looks like it might be 2 frame rules actually in 1-1. So down 1 race and also slightly in the hole as far as time here in the first level.
Yeah, and I see him kill the 2 Goombas at the end. He just really doesn't like Goombas. I don't know what he's got against him, but...
Alright, 1-2. Get over the Goomba there. No problem for either runner. And they'll both be good through 1-2. We'll have to see what their pipe exit time is once again. We saw last race, JS Carbo got the 352. This time he gets the 353, so he's going to keep pace with GTAce. I rhyme every time, right there in 1-2.
Yeah, so he's still 1 or 2 frame rules behind from the first level, looks like 2.
Yeah, it looks like 2 frame rules. It was 1 in-game second, but I think it was a case where it was more than 21 frames between the in-game seconds there. So GTAce in 1-3, JS Carbo in 1-3 should be easy. Free and easy level for both of them. 1-4 is where we're going to see the Bowser kill, and once again, both runners will know probably what patterns they're going to get because they're both using spreadsheets. I think it's very clear.
Yeah, I don't think either will have much of a problem here. It's interesting how much more difficult adding the extra fire bars makes this level.
It really is. And both getting the forward Bowser and 261 on the timer. So it looks like JS Carbo's kill was a little bit faster. I can't tell if he's going to gain a frame rule here or not. It's hard to tell. He might have gained a frame rule there. But either way, GTAce is 1 or 2 frame rules ahead of JS Carbo at this point in 2-1. 2-1. Couple of piranha plants you want to make sure you snipe out of the way. They can be tricky. Sometimes, Mario 1 has some really jank hitboxes, especially with the piranha plants, and the world record holders always get the famous comments that they're cheating and going through the piranha plants' teeth and stuff like that, or the snake pipes. But they have some jank hitboxes, so sometimes you'll shoot a fireball, and if you shoot it just a little bit late, it'll look like it goes right through the piranha plant, but won't actually hit them.
Yeah, it's weird, right? You use it to your advantage, but also sometimes it can be a disadvantage if, you don't get the kill you're expecting.
Yeah, so it does look like JS Carbo gained a frame rule there on GTAce in that castle level. I think they're 1 frame rule apart, and I say that because I actually know these swimming patterns, so I do think they are 1 frame rule apart, and SpeedGaming 2 coming in with a raid, so we do want to set up the situation here for all the raiders coming in from SpeedGaming 2. We are in the quarterfinals of the SMB1 Warpless tournament. This is a best-of-3 series between our number 1 seed and world record holder, GTAce99, and our number 9 seed, jscarbo99. It's the battle of the 99s. GTAce leads 1-0 in this best-of-3, but the first race was really, really close all the way through 7-2. They were a couple of seconds apart when JS Carbo took unfortunate damage right at the very end of 7-2. Right now, they are, I think, 0.35 seconds apart. I may have gotten distracted there at the end of 2-2 and missed another frame rule or something, but they're less than a second apart here as well, so this is a fantastic race between the two of them in this best-of-3 series.
So would you say that 99 was a good year for SMB1 runners, or what?
Must be. I don't know. So GTAce doing the skate thing. This is a buffer jump that he's doing on purpose to set up a Bowser pattern. And then, oh my goodness, GTAce takes a spill on the elevator section. He didn't get the duck input. So that is going to set him back. The number 1 seed and the world record holder now in a bit of a pickle here. There are no oh, and he gets the bad firebar as well. There are no checkpoints in these castle levels, so if you take a death, you go all the way back to the beginning of the castle level, no matter where you die. Fortunately for GTAce, it wasn't all the way at the end of the level, but it was partway through the level. So jscarbo now has the advantage. If he can keep it clean in this race, he's going to be in good shape. But one mistake from him could put it right back to where GTAce is neck and neck with him.
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting if he's watching the stream or not, because you know, he might feel more pressure now if he is, in seeing that he's got such a substantial lead at the moment, right?
Yeah, this is where I actually wouldn't want to be watching it back. If I was leading the world record holder, I'd be getting pretty nervous at this point. Not that I wouldn't already be nervous, but even more nervous. So GTAce is now powered up. Know where your power-ups are, folks, because not only in these Warpless races is it about avoiding damage, but if you do take damage, it's also about how do you recover. So very good recovery here for GTAce.
Yeah, he's in a good position to, you know, if something does happen, he can take advantage of that. So he's definitely not out of it. There's a lot of this game left, and most of it gets more treacherous from here, so.
Oh, and GTAce, I don't know if he's rattled or what's going on. He had a little bonk on the pipe there as well. He got some lag by shooting, like, all of these fireballs with some enemies on the screen as well. So, you know, I think he's maybe trying to take it out on the enemies a little bit. The fact that he had that little hiccup, but he'll be just fine. He's the best in the world.
Yeah, I can imagine he had a very spirited discussion with his controller.
I would say so. And of course, GTAce, the champion of NMA, whereas you know, I tend to be on the PMA side. GTAce. He is the champion of NMA, negative mental attitude. He actually has an emote for that, so I'm sure he's channeling his inner NMA right now. Oh, jscarbo with a bonk there in 4-1. That's why it's the hardest level in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty rare to see that, but I mean, this Lakitu is still really just doing the Lord's work here by delagging the game.
Look at all the NMAs in chat. I love it, but we are past 4-1 for jscarbo. GTAce in 4-1 right now. Are we going to see the double kill here? We got the single kill. So you can also shoot a fireball and hit the Lakitu, and the fireball will kill the Spiny. So you can kind of get a double swagatu there. But GTAce just getting the single swag here. We'll see if he goes for flagpole glitch or anything like that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's, you know, trying to give a little show because he realizes at this point he requires his opponent to make a mistake, right? So,
yep. All right, and 350, which is perfect for jscarbo in 4-2, and you know, if he plays the same run that he played in the first race and is 1 or 2 frames or pixels earlier on that pipe exit in 7-2, he's on 19.0x pace. So jscarbo has been putting on a show, even though he's down 1-0. He's been putting on a show as well. You can't really fault him for getting a tough blooper pattern and missing something by a frame or a pixel. That was a very super tight window as well. But he's played incredibly well through 1.5 races so far.
Yeah, that's a good point. He was on 1907 pace, I think, at least through that. So
yeah, 4-4. What's your opinion on 4-4, Haxer?
4-4? Oh, you mean the best Bowser fight in the entire game, where you have a Potaboo and a Firebar and all this nice stuff, and also a clip you can do, which is fantastic as well. You know, it wouldn't be a Mario game if you can't clip.
Yeah, that's true. So you said nice stuff, so I threw a nice in chat. But I think GTAce is going to go for the clip. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I think he's probably going to go for most things that are, you know, a little swaggy, maybe.
Oh, he did go for it, but didn't get it there. Well, I don't know what he was doing there, but that's funny. Kind of going for a reverse clip? I don't know. He's trying to show off all the cool things that can happen in this game, and unfortunately...
It's a forward Bowser, because it's GTAce.
And unfortunately, he released his duck a little bit too soon to slide under Bowser, and ended up catching the very backside of Bowser's hitbox, and He'll have to repower up again. JScarbo, meanwhile, in 5-2, getting past the opening bullet bill launcher. He's on the spreadsheet, so he knows what's going to happen, and he knows he wasn't going to get an early bullet bill shot here in 5-2. That's going to help him immensely by the fact that he's had such a clean run. He can play these levels as fast as he wants, knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, you can see how, much easier it was for him to react to the end of 5-1, knowing what the Coopers were going to do versus GTAce, which I'd still don't know what those Coopers were doing, but...
Yeah, exactly. Wow, GTAce with the grab and sliding right under the Koopa. jscarbo, meanwhile, getting that bullet bill that GTAce had in race number 1 and ducking underneath it exactly like GTAce did. And jscarbo does an intentional slowdown there. That slowdown was on purpose, so he could set himself up for 5-4 to get good fire bars. If he didn't do that, he'd have what we call bad fire bars, and he'd have to slow down even more in 5-4. So that slowdown in 5-3 was intentional to slow down less in 5-4.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another Mario speedrunning classic. Sometimes you have to go slower to go faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And GTAce, meanwhile, in 5-3, he's not going to know the patterns he gets here, but he cleaned a couple of those bills out by stomping on them. Like you mentioned, an interesting mechanic in this game. I think you mentioned it right here on the Swag 2 kill. If Mario's heading down, as we see jscarbo do it again, Mario's heading downward, he will win the collision with an enemy. So jscarbo and GTAce both using the downward mechanic to make some kills in a couple different levels here.
And we actually do see royal good bars here from GTAce because, as we were mentioning, he just doesn't know where he's at this point on the spreadsheet. So, oh my goodness.
He got the fast-jumping, quick-turn Bowser and was going for the quick kill. Rightly so. I mean, he's trying to go as fast as possible and show off the fun stuff, and unfortunately got one of the worst possible Bowser patterns to have a super quick kill there.
Yeah, the other thing, too, with Bowser, which is interesting, he has 2 hitboxes, so if you time your fireball correctly, you can actually hit both. And he hit him with 4 fireballs there, so unfortunately he never got a double hit either.
Yeah, you can actually, because of that mechanic, if you hit both Bowser hitboxes, sometimes, very rarely, kill Bowser in 3 fireballs. It's super rare to have it happen, but it can happen because you get 2 hits from the first fireball on the hitbox, on both hitboxes, 2 hits from the second fireball on both hitboxes, and then the third fireball would be the 5th hit there. But pretty rare to have that happen. But 4 is pretty common. I mean, it's not something you get every time, but you know, it's certainly not a rare thing to get a 4 fireball Bowser kill.
I really love 6-2. I love watching 6-2.
And I also like watching 6-4 when you get some interesting patterns. jscarbo got what we call an under-over pattern, where he went under the first Potaboo and over the second Potaboo. And he gets some lag here in 6-4. That's because Bowser's throwing hammers. There's a Potaboo on the screen, fireballs. Mario's got a big hitbox. There's just a whole bunch of stuff on the screen. And we see GTAce going bottom route this time because he went top route last time when things were tight and close. But I think he knows he's pretty far behind, so he's going to show off all the stuff. He's going bottom route here. But 6-4, I think that under then over is probably the hardest pattern that you can get to open 6-4, but jscarbo made it look easy. He's putting on a clinic here, and now he's going to head into what I guess would be his nemesis level, 7-2 at this point in time.
Yeah, GTA's doing another strat guaranteeing good fire bars here from that point, so you can always do this really, really small jump under that first Potaboo. And then if you make it to the end and wait for the fire bar to move around, then you can always get good fire bars after that.
Yeah, definitely. So what we want to keep an eye on now here is 7-2 for jscarbo. Not so much I hope I'm not jinxing it. I was gonna say not so much earlier in the level, as he gets kind of a tricky pattern there, but 2 good enemy kills. But the very end is where he took damage because he got that blooper, the squid, if you will. For those of you who may not know what a blooper is, that was heading to the right. That's gonna guard this exit pipe, and he's got a double exit pipe blooper. He's gonna have to wait all day. Oh, he goes in between them. That was really well done by jscarbo. He got triple trolled. He got both bloopers and a cheap there. That's the worst pattern I've ever seen to get to the exit of 7-2.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, he did kill a lot of enemies there, which is part of the reason why, you know, a lot of people try to kill as little enemies as possible, right? To see the least amount of variance they can.
Yeah, that's true. The game's RNG, the patterns that you get, is based off the time you get to them, but it can also be affected by how you swim or what enemies you kill. As we see GTA's Small Mario again. I missed where he took damage, but so jscarbo, by shooting the enemies out of the way, actually changed the patterns. And so, you know, a lot of when you're going for world record strategies, GTA's getting the 7-2 FPG, the rare 7-2 FPG. Let's get some swag out in chat for that. That was pretty cool. GTA's pulling out all of the fun things here. He's probably going to go for 7-3 FPG as well if he doesn't have to slow down. But I forget what I was even going to say. So that was cool, GTA's. Well done.
Yeah, I'd say in my experience, which is more limited than his, of course, going for the power-up in the stage is rarely worth it, as we saw in the first race, right, with jscarbo taking the death.
And GTAce is on 456 pace. He's got 2 FPGs in this run. Oh wait, this is Warpless. GTA's putting on a clinic with the glitches. So this flagpole glitch, I should explain this again because we've got raiders from one of the other speed gaming channels. But GTA's basically just did a series of 4 or 5-ish. Oh, and I guess he dropped an input there to go down on the bottom route. That's not where you want to go in 7-4 in these maze levels. The maze levels, which is 4-4 and 7-4, you have to take a very specific path through the level, and GTAce was supposed to go on the top and kind of went on the bottom there. We were supposed to go to the top, so we had to backtrack and get up to the top. But those flagpole glitches are a series of, you know, multiple frame-perfect inputs. You have to do frame-perfect inputs on the stairs, and then also semi-frame perfect inputs at the flagpole. I say semi-frame perfect because depending on certain little mechanics of the game, what we call sub-speed, you can get away with not exactly frame perfect stuff and still get the flagpole glitch. But what that does, flagpole glitch, is when you saw GTA's do it, he clipped into the block at the bottom of the flagpole. You know, you see jscarbo right here. There's a block on the bottom of the flagpole. GTA's clipped into the block through a glitch mechanic and grabbed the flagpole from inside the block, which skips the animation of the flag sliding down the pole, and it saves 1 frame ruler about 1/3 of a second.
Yeah, that was a really great 8-2 by jscarbo, and he took it a lot more aggressive than I expected. I think he might be on PB pace.
Yeah,
like,
this is really good pace.
Yeah, that makes me think he knows what pace he's on, so
we'll see. The final level is, you know, around 45 seconds from the time we start the level, so you know, if you played optimally. So he is right around 1909 pace, so I don't know if this is going to be a PB or not, but he's on good pace. We'll have to see what happens here with... Oh, he went for the frame perfect jump. He's going for the backward wall jump. I think he is on PB pace or near PB pace. I think he was going for PB there by doing that 1 frame backward wall jump. Unfortunately, he missed it, so that's going to kill PB. But he is still on an insane pace, and he is going to take... Oh, I shouldn't say he is. You know, you never know what's going to happen, but I don't think at this point he's going to mess up enough to lose this race.
No, he'd have to take, you know, 2 inches of damage here, and it's just not going to happen. He'll have enough iframes even with Lodabu. So yeah, wow, 1912.
Great run for jscarbo. 1912. Just like that's 3 seconds off his PB, and the 3 seconds came probably just from missing the wall jump right there. He had a chance at PB going into the final level, and he was again on PB pace going into 7-2 of race 1. So GTAce cannot afford issues in race number 3 if he wants to advance, because jscarbo's playing out of his mind right now.
Well, of course, he gets the 1 frame backward wall jump right there. You know, just hitting all the swag tricks, just that early.
And that's exactly what jscarbo went for. Had he done that, he would have been probably gotten a PB. So what GTA showed off right there is what jscarbo was trying to do to get his PB.
Yeah, I was looking at him to see how he was going to handle World 8, and I think, you know, you can get a good idea of what pace he was on, because, I mean, hey man, if you're on PB pace, go for it.
Alrighty, so we have another Game 3 in this tournament. This is only our second Game 3, I believe. We had one between JT9. Oh, no, this is our third. We had one between JT9 and ZZZ, and we had one between Kaku and Mamaru. But this is only our third Game 3 of the tournament, despite the fact that we've had like multiple, you know, double-digit games in matches in this tournament. So I'm gonna get race number 3 set up here, so actually you can fill in any dead air time while I do this.
You know what Game 3 means, guys? Winner moves on, and loser goes home. It's you know, it's everything right here. Winner takes it all. And so yeah, let me pull up the bracket here. So the winner of this is going to take on JT Knott, which I know has been killing this category lately, doing a really good job. And obviously, I mean, he's in semifinals of the tournament. So he'll be taking on JT Knott, whoever that is. And then on the other side, we have Mars02 taking on Jeremy MKW. So I believe those are the 2 and 3 seeds. So we got some chalk on the other side. And we're either going to see chalk if GTAce wins, or, you know, if jscarbo wins. It'll be a bit of an upset here. So let me know what you guys want to see. I'm interested.
And the new race room is set up. I don't have the code number for it because I did it through live split here. But we got jscarbo in here waiting on GTAce. But yeah, you're right. So the winner of the Game 3 here is going on to the semifinals to face the number 4 seed JT Knott. Now, right now, our final 4 currently has 3 runners: the number 2 seed, the number 3 seed, and the number 4 seed. GTA's trying to complete the 1 through 4 seeds, but jscarbo giving him a run for his money, no doubt here. And I should say these seeds are not based off of their PB ranks. We had a group stage in this tournament, and that group stage is what actually determined their bracket stage seeding. That's why Cosmic was the number 10 seed. He had a really slow race in one of his group stage races, and the average time from your group stage races determines your seeding in the bracket stage. And so Cosmic, the 10 seed, ended up facing Mars, the 2 seed. And true to form, as far as group stage results, Mars actually upset, you know, air quote, upset Cosmic in terms of PB ranking, but both of those runners are very close together. So GTA's having a little fun, but it is time for race number 3. They are underway in SRL, and Haxer, once again, no strategy changes here for either runner. Just gotta play your game and hope to not make many mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they both had one clean race, and, you know, it's just going to come down to probably whoever has the clean race here.
I hope they both have a clean race here, because that would be crazy.
Yeah, I want to see another, you know, both on 1909 or something, you know.
Exactly. So that would be crazy, but we are once again in sync. Shouldn't need any help from anybody to sync things up. And race number 3, I had to count there, is underway. I'm not very good at math or anything, so sometimes counting on me gets a bit tricky. But they both get 365 in 1-1. We saw in race number 2, jscarbo took a tiny time loss in 1-1, but they are perfectly synced up in the 1-2.
And I have a feeling we're going to see more fire in 1-2.
I think you're right. Look at that. Perfect sync between these two. Whoa! No! jscarbo getting trolled by the Goomba there. And that is going to cost him his power-up. And, you know, we talked about a clean race. We're no longer in a clean race scenario. jscarbo going to need GTAce to make a mistake. I do think we see power-up grabs in 1-3 and 1-4 from jscarbo, which is you know, the optimal power-up grabs for PB attempts. So he should be pretty good at being able to do these as well, but certainly trickier power-up grabs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but he's still pretty close here. I mean, it's only going to be a few seconds difference. I mean, GTAce doesn't even have to make that many mistakes. It could be another bridge deal like it was the first race, right?
Yeah, exactly. If GTAce misses one Bowser kill with fire and you know, touches the axe, jscarbo will be right back breathing down his neck. It's not going to be enough to make it up, but you know, I think GTAce is going to pull out maybe an 8 to 10 second lead here when all is said and done. jscarbo got the fast grab in 1-3, a little less than optimal in 1-4, but still totally fine on the fire bar or on the fire flower grab there to not get kind of weird fire bars. And he's not going to know his Bowser pattern at this point, but good kill and a 258 on the timer. So, you know, GTAce mid 213 when that clicked off, and jscarbo mid 218. So he's only 5 seconds behind at this point in time. Not the biggest of mistakes there, especially with 2 quick power-up grabs that he was able to get.
That Bowser kill on the GTAce, it looked like it was frame perfect, man. It was insane.
I missed it. I was watching jscarbo admittedly there. But you know, that's why these runners are the best in the world. They can do these frame perfect Bowser kills. If you guys got to see Supersonic last night, he had a small fire Mario kill where he killed Bowser from underneath Bowser. Like, these runners are the best in the world, and they know how to do things with just such precise timing. It's really fun to watch. GTA swimming in tune with the music.
This is just, you know, one of the 2 best levels in this game. You know, you can guess what the second one is. I mean, look at this thing. They should have added more of this.
Oh, jscarbo getting a kind of a tricky pattern there, and he did the right thing. He turned back. He kept his firepower. You don't want to lose firepower, and he has a little bonk there as well. So I don't know if he's a little rattled or man, he missed the fire shot there in the cheap as well. So maybe he's feeling the pressure at this point in time. That was definitely an uncharacteristic swim from him. Yeah, I was gonna say at least he kept his firepower there, but unfortunately he lost it on an enemy or 2 later into the level there. So he's gonna try to power up in 2-3 and 2-4, I would expect.
Yeah, the good news for him is early game is kind of generous for power-ups, right? So, I mean, he's going to have opportunities to get it back, and he's still not out, you know, out of this at all. There's so much more that can happen in this run. We're so early in that, I mean, we saw last race that, you know, it's once you kind of get off your line in a way, you kind of just keep making mistakes. So if we see another mistake out of GTAce, it could go very similarly.
Yeah, absolutely. And GTAce again doing the buffer in 2-4 here to set up a specific Bowser pattern. I think he wants the fully backward Bowser here. And so that'll give him a quick Bowser kill. 2 fireballs there, 3 more. Very nice. That is going to get him what we call the 262 frame rule. So you see a 261 on the timer here, but it is what we call a very high 261. It is actually going to save 1/3 of a second versus a lower 261 on the timer, and that's because of this game's mechanic where it changes or checks for level changes every 21 frames.
You know, going for the swag double kill of the 2 Hammer Bros there. Good stuff. He's feeling good about himself this run, I think.
Certainly. He got past 2-4 where, you know, he took the spill in race number 2. So GTA's probably feeling confident. You know, he pulled out all the swag in race number 2. So we know he's got those frame perfect inputs down with the FPGs and the backward wall jumps and all that stuff. So that probably rebuilt his confidence, and he's crushing it right now in race number 3. jscarbo, though, we know he's taken damage twice, but as you mentioned, early game, very generous with power-ups. He's not that far behind, and if GTAce were to have something happen later in the game where power-ups could be a little less forgiving, honestly, jscarbo could be right back in this game from one GTAce mistake, even though jscarbo himself has had 2 mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw the deaths cost basically an entire level, in the last 2 races. And this one, he's made 2 mistakes, but it's half a level. It's not even that big of a deal.
Yeah. So GTAce, the only other thing is it probably will expand because GTAce is going to know his patterns, for example, in 3-4. Yeah. And jscarbo is going to have to play it safe. So, oh no, jscarbo! Oh, no. I don't know what happened there. He just dropped a B input. He was shooting a fireball and maybe let go of B for a little bit too long while shooting some fireballs there. That's the danger of going for these swag kills. Maybe he's not even going for swag, but those are the danger of some of those fireballs. If you let go of B a little bit too long, Mario loses his speed there. You can do a little quick B press, up and down B press to shoot a fireball, and you won't lose speed. But jscarbo doing a couple of fireball shots and just lost speed there down in the pit. And we saw the stress pause as well. He paused while he was falling into the hole.
Yeah, oh no.
Yep.
He does.
We've all done it.
Back here in 3-4, which is good for the reason that we just saw. But he's not going to know what his patterns are, and he knows he's like, okay, I probably have to challenge this a little more than normal.
And then he took a hit on the last Potaboo, so once again, even though he grabbed the mushroom, losing his power up, and at this point, it's tough for him. He knows he's in a deep hole against the best player in the world at this category, and maybe the stress is getting to him a little bit, but he should be, we're not saying this is over, but certainly it's not in a good situation here for jscarbo, but even if this result holds, he should be really proud because he had a chance at PB in race number 1 until 7-2 and had a chance at PB all the way until 8-4 in race number 2. I think I said race number 2 the first one, but 1 and then 2. So he's played amazing today.
Yeah, he really has. This was really just, the way he's played for the rest of these 2 races, this was kind of uncharacteristic. So, I mean, yeah, he's put up a really good show here, and he's still not, as you mentioned, he's still not out of this. I mean, it's still really potentially one mistake.
I mean, we saw GTAce miss something in race number 2 that cost him nearly a full level. That could happen in, let's say, the 8-2 stairs or something, and or the Coop is there and things go awry. If it happens in World 8, that's like the worst possible place. jscarbo could actually be in the lead from one GTAce mistake if it's in the later portion of the game.
Absolutely.
Not going to see a swag clip here from GTAce this time. He's on too good of a pace to risk anything like that. But we'll check out this Bowser kill. Gets another patented GTAce forward Bowser. But cleans him up with the 348 this time.
I swear in the first race, he got nothing but forward Bowser. It was absurd.
I was going to say in race number 1, he got the low Potaboo. And he did, but he somehow got underneath it. It was like frame perfect to get underneath that Potaboo. But GTAce is very well known for low Potaboos.
He has a way of finding those frames, He's just like, if this is a bad frame, it's mine.
It's his, yep. And speaking of forward Bowsers, jscarbo getting one as well. Cleans it up with a 347 on the timer. Still looked really fast, though, so it might have been, same as a low 348 there. GTAce, meanwhile, 5-2. Not worried about the bullet bill launcher there. He knows it's not going to shoot a bullet bill on this, point in time of the game that he gets the level. These patterns are based off of the time at which you reach these levels or these enemies. And so he knew at the time that he reached 5-2 here, that opening bullet bill cannon wasn't going to shoot an ammunition William at him.
I'm glad JS Carbo's like kind of playing standard, because I feel like a lot of times in this situation, he might not even know where he's at, but I mean, a lot of times runners will kind of just be going for weird stuff, when in reality, you just want to stay within a mistake of your opponent, right? Because like at any time, that can happen.
Yeah, exactly. GTAce, meanwhile, 5-3, no problem. JS Carbo gonna go into 5-3. Once again, this is the problem with early game issues, is you're not gonna know these. Whoa, what happened to GTAce there? He just kind of like stopped. Oh, so he must be on a frame rule where he's waiting for the timer to. Yeah, that's a very specific manipulation. Okay. I thought for a moment he dropped an input there, and then I remembered there's one frame rule where you want to do this very specific manipulation right at the start of the level. So GTAce was waiting for the timer to tick down one unit there, one time unit to get running there. I thought for a moment he had dropped another input and was getting worried, but no, he's good. That was an intentional thing. I got fooled, so I looked like an idiot boss there.
And we see the Royale Good Bars coming out from JS Carbo, because unfortunately for him, you know, he's in such a weird spot that he has no idea what frame rule he's on. So he's kind of taking these safe to, you know, not lose further time or the least amount possible, right? Because I mean, GTAce knows what frame rule he's on, so he's able to do these patterns, and he's going to continue to, as you mentioned, gain time in the -4 levels.
That's right. We're now in World 6 for both runners, about a level apart. Welcome, Raiders from SpeedGaming 4. We are in the final match, the rubber match of this best of 3 between GTAce99, our world record holder, and jscarbo99, Battle of the 99s. This is a quarterfinal matchup for the right to advance to the semifinals in the SMB1 Warpless tournament. But both runners have taken one game in this best of 3. Right now, GTAce has about a 1-level lead in game number 3. But certainly one mistake, especially this late in the run, could put JS Carbo right back in the running. So don't think this is over yet, folks.
Yeah, absolutely not. As we saw in the first race, right? 7-2 was really the decider of that one. So
yeah, if GTAce were to get the bad blooper there, and then he'd be small only in 7-3 all the way up through World 8. You know, would he take aggressive strats in World 8? These are all things we would have to wait and see. But right now, he knows exactly the patterns he's getting in 6-4, going for the fast strategies, minimal lag there, and a great Bowser kill in 6-4 for GTAce.
Yeah, it looks like he's played this game a couple times, so
once or twice, yeah. JS Carbo getting a 251 on the timer. 255 in this level would be optimal. He misread one of the bullet bills there, so we talked about how you know, the patterns are based off the time you get there. Because he's had some mistakes, he doesn't know the patterns that he's gonna get, and he got a bullet bill that he actually could have just walked under, but I think he thought it was one tile lower, and he jumped at it and kind of bonked it, which put him right in front of the spring in 6-3, and then he had to kind of take the spring up, so it cost him some time there. But only a second and a half approximately, and he is now into World 7, while GTAce is heading into 7-2. This is Haxer. This is the level, right?
It is. And again, this is just one of the 2 best levels in the game. Look at this thing. It's incredible. You have bloopers everywhere. And not just bloopers, you just wait. There's going to be more.
Oh,
and there's cheeps.
This level isn't quite as cheap as the next level, though.
That's true. That is the cheapest of all the levels.
The commentary has gone into full degenerate mode here, y'all. So we're sorry for that, but we're really not that sorry. And GTA's getting trolled. This is what we wanted to look out for, was that blooper heading to the right to guard the pipe there. There was actually also a cheap there. So, you know, this is kind of what happened to JS Carbo in race number 1, where he got that bad blooper. And then I think it was Carbo getting a bad pattern again in race number 2. This time it's GTA's getting the bad pattern. So now we're into the cheapest of levels.
That is true, yeah. 4 Cheep Cheeps on the screen at the same time. No other level can you see this happen.
And GTAce will not be going for flagpole glitch here. He is on such a good pace, and also he had to do a couple of duck jumps there, which will change his subpixels if he doesn't do them like absolutely frame perfectly. So he would not be able to set up for the flagpole glitch. But 7-4, hopefully he doesn't loop the maze. He had a little spill in race number 2, didn't loop the maze, but had a chance at it, but really clean here, and he is on bananas pace in race number 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's clean like his first race, except if... Okay.
Okay,
Right.
Bowser!
I think it's still faster than the first race, but yeah, that was definitely not what he was looking for there.
No, and race number 1, remember, he had an axe grab in 7-4, so I think he gained time versus race number 1. I think he's on, 06, 07 pace, something like that, which is nutty. That's within 10 seconds of the world record in a race setting. GTAce should recap, because we have had a lot of raids. SpeedGaming Français, too. Bonjour tout le monde. We have had a crazy race between these two. GTAce took game 1 with a 1909, and jscarbo a 1912 in race number 2.
I think they both just got the same exact pattern. What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. This game is pulling out all the trolls today. I don't, between 7-2, I don't know how many bad bloops we've seen.
Yeah, it's I think jscarbo finally didn't get one, right? So it's 3.
Yep. GTAce in 8-2, doing the duck jumps there on the stairs. And the end of 8-2 can be a little tricky. There's kind of a tight pipe jump thingy that you have to do. There's some Koopas that can kind of get in the way. But GTA's handling it super easy
there. Because, I mean, that was last race. We saw jscarbo challenge the pipe there because he was on PB pace, so...
8-3 for GTAce, and when you... Proper coin count, by the way, for jscarbo, but when you're an 8-3 with firepower, you feel pretty good, huh?
Yeah, there's these enemies called Hammer Bros, and sometimes, like we just saw there, you get 2 of them right in front of you. And this firepower allows you to take them out very quickly. You'll notice that he does wait a little bit until he gets close to them in order to fire kill them, and that's because sometimes you can get those rogue hammers and you want to avoid those as much as possible, because even though they're dead, they can still hit you.
So I'm curious what GTAce will do here in 8-4, the wall jump room. Is he going to go for the 1-framer or the 2-framer? We're about to see 2-frame setup here for GTAce. So he's on a really good pace. I'm curious what this time is going to be here at the end. He's got to get this turnaround room. Goes far enough, and that is a wrong warp. You're supposed to take the next pipe, but by scrolling the screen far enough, you make the game think you're going down the next pipe, and then you turn back to go into this pipe, which is actually a little bit closer and faster, and it still takes you to this water section.
Which, alright, he's safely through now, and of course takes damage because Bowser loves him.
1911. Get your GGs out for GTAce. Unfortunately, jscarbo is going to have to ruin the proper coin count there for the end of the run by missing the wall jump, which means he had to hit the coin block there. So he's not going to finish with the nicest of coin counts, but he still has a really good run going. Despite taking damage a couple times, he's looking like he'll get sub 20, and having 2 PB shots in a sub 20 is a really nice series of 3 races for jscarbo. I think both runners should be happy with their performance, but GTAce will be moving on to the semifinals here. So true to form, we have the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, the number 3 seed, and the number 4 seed in the semifinals, and it's a young boys game. GTAce being the oldest as a 99, year 99, I think, in remaining in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, JT, I think, is the youngest, right? Left, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We can ask all of them. JT, Mars, Jeremy, GTAce. How old are y'all? Well, GTAce is a boomer, exactly. Get your boomers out in chat. But GTAce is in the interview room. He can come on up here when ready. And we'll see if jscarbo is gonna get here as well. We do have GTAce in the interview room. GTAce, congratulations on your victory, but it certainly wasn't without a couple of moments there, huh?
Let's not talk about race 2. Controllers sometimes just don't work, and that's fun.
Oh, so you did drop drop an input there in 2-4.
You don't just not duck jump there without a reason.
That's true.
So, yeah,
So,
I was imagining. I think you had a very spirited discussion with your controller after that moment. I would imagine.
Yeah. If the rest of that run was anything to go off of, I was a little bit on tilt.
I was gonna say, at least you pulled out a lot of fun stuff. You got a couple back-to-back flagpole glitches, 7-2 and 7-3.
Yeah, I just went all out. I figured, well, I'm losing this one, obviously, because you're not in, like, the top 8 without other people obviously going to get good times if you make a mistake. So I was like, all right, let's just have some fun here, show off a bit. I still had another race, and it worked out in the end anyway.
And the reason you went all out and showed off some fun things is because jscarbo played out of his mind today. jscarbo was on PB pace in 7-2 of race number 1. And had a chance at PB in 8-4 of race number 2. Unfortunately, not quite pulling off the PB, but you have to be pretty pleased with your performance.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
A man of many words. But no, so jscarbo, race number 3, unfortunately, taking damage very early on. Did that rattle you a bit, or were you still okay and things just kind of happened?
The first time I lost power-ups, I was a little bit mad, but not too mad, because like sometimes if you go too fast under that little like part you have to dunk under, that can happen and you can't get over under that Goomba. But like that second part, I just missed the cheap completely, and I was pretty mad. And then when I just died, I just hit A like a frame early, and I just went right off the ledge, and that's basically all that happened. All those mistakes in this third race.
I'm kind of curious, were either of you watching the restream at all? Just did you know where your opponent was, or are you just playing based on instinct? Or
I don't watch. I used to, but not anymore.
Yeah, I wasn't watching through the whole race either.
For me, I need to focus on the spreadsheet. I need to focus on my run, so I don't want to have any distractions, and I don't want to worry about where the other person is. I want to make sure I'm playing what I need to be playing.
Yeah, it looked like both of you were just kind of playing your games there. Even with mistakes, it looks like you both were just kind of doing your own thing, and it was an impressive display by the two of you. GTAce, I do want to talk about your next matchup. You are going against JT Knott. You're the old fart of the tournament now, GTAce. You're the oldest one remaining. So how do you feel this final four of you, JT Knott, Mars, and Jeremy?
Well, I have a good chance as long as if I can get consistent 19-0Xs, which I usually can if crap doesn't happen, because I've been getting unfortunate patterns in the late game from these couple of races. But if I can just keep doing that, I should be pretty okay. But like one mistake and that's it. So I need to not have my controller drop inputs. That'd be nice.
yeah, and in jscarbo's case, I mean, it looks like you're probably on the verge of getting another PB. I know you just recently set one, but what are your plans? I mean, I know your tournament's over, but I mean, there's still more things to do for you.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do more Warpless. Like, I got that PB, and I haven't been playing Warpless like for a long time, and I got that PB in like a day, so I can improve on that. And yeah, I'll probably just grind more Warpless.
Very nice. And I should say you got to be pretty pleased overall with your tournament, getting through your group, but also advancing as far as the quarterfinals and taking the #1 in the world to game 3. Pretty fun tournament for you.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm pleased with most of the races. I think I got sub 20s in like all the races. So yeah, I'm pleased with my tournament.
Alrighty, well, that I think will do it for these interviews. GG's to both of you. That was a fantastic set of races. You know, the winning times were 1909, 1910, and 1912. Nothing to sneeze at there between the 3 races. So congrats to GTAce on the win. Congrats to jscarbo on an excellent tournament. As far as the schedule, we don't have anything coming up in this tournament. Of course, we do want to thank SpeedGaming for putting on all of these, all of these races for us, and just hosting this for many years now. So also thank you to Rupert for organizing this. And on the SpeedGaming family of networks, there's stuff going on all day here right now on SpeedGaming 2. We got the Mega Man 2 rando. At 6 p.m. Eastern time, we've got Mario Kart 64. I'm actually going to be watching that because that's exciting. I love Mario Kart 64. We've got Hollow Knight Randomizer on SpeedGaming 2. So all sorts of excellent stuff coming up. And just once again, thank you, SpeedGaming, for hosting. And Haxer, I think this was your first race commentary of the tournament. Is that right?
That is correct.
So thank you, Haxer, for joining us as well. But that is going to do it for this edition of the SMB1 2020 Warpless Tournament. Big GGs to our runners. And for the Haxer, I am Takate. We will see you all on the next episode. Take care, everybody.